Shannon is done, and so is this season of The Real Housewives of Orange County. Almost. We have the reunion, kids, but it's Real Housewives of Orange County recap finale starting now.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Whatever you want, whatever you need,
Hello, AfterBuzzers. It's a pleasure to have you here to recap the finale of OC. And we have a full panel to break down everything right here. With, you asked for it, a female perspective. We've got two.
Yes!
So, who's
Girl
here?
Power.
Who's here? Where can we find you? What do you want to talk about?
Kick it off, Lian.
Hey guys, Lian Castillo here. You can find me on all social media platforms at Hollywood Lian. Check out a tiny little spot on Curb Your Enthusiasm next Sunday on HBO.
Nice.
Exciting. Fern Ronay here. I'm so excited to be reunited with my friends. So happy to fill in. You can find me on all social media at Fern Ronay, R-O-N-A-Y.
Yes, and I am Blake V, back in effect.
So happy to have you back.
Yes, I'm so happy to be back. I had to make it back for the finale. You can find me on all social media at Blake V Media and over on the blog at blakv.com.
Nice. And you guys can find me over on Twitter at It's Grant's Rants. Before we get into the show tonight, I want to have my Star Jones moment. If anyone gets that, you know that I love you.
I get it.
Yes. I'm so nervous. I have accepted a position that's still in LA, but it conflicts with AfterBuzz, unfortunately. And I've been here for almost 6 years, and I've covered too many wives to count. But I'll be taking a leave of absence. But I feel like any good professional, I have to give my 2-week notice. So I will be here to cover the first part of the reunion. And I'll wrap up Dallas, and I'm gonna be moving on for a little bit. So, but I can tell you people that I will be popping up when you least expect.
I'm sure.
Grant, we're gonna miss you so
I'm sure.
much.
And
I know,
congratulations,
I wasn't gonna say anything.
Grant.
I wasn't gonna say anything until it was like the last show. But to me, it's like so many great people have followed me, and I'm not talking about Twitter and Instagram. I'm like, you guys have listened to my show and told your friends. So I feel such a respect and an honor to be able to have to tell you, that I even have someone to answer to is lovely and wonderful. So thank you very much, and it's all good stuff. I'm actually
not the end.
I'm going to be working in podcasting. That's the thing.
We're really excited
You know
for
what
you,
I
Grant.
mean? So
Yes,
thank
congratulations.
Couldn't happen to a better guy.
Congratulations.
Yes!
you. It's been a long road.
Cheers to
Cheers
Grant.
to Grant and cheers to the finale.
Cheers.
Grant,
Thank you.
I've learned a lot from you just from watching you, so congratulations. I'm really happy for you.
Thank you. Cheers to that.
Yeah.
I love you guys. Yeah, I will miss coming here and bitching about these ladies so much, but my podcast, Grant's Rants Hollywood Talk, is still in action. So
Thank God.
yeah.
We'll have some platform to bitch on.
I need to. Oh my God, I need to. Yeah, and like I said, you never know where I will pop up.
Yeah.
No. So let's talk a little bit about OC and
Let's put the live
let's
chat
get
up,
into
guys.
it. Yeah.
It's the finale. We'd love the live chat up.
Yeah. Oh, I just want to get that off my damn chest. Whew. All right.
Now you can
talk about-
breathe.
Yeah. No, I'm just I take this seriously, especially the people who tune in and are loyal to us. I mean,
I know they're the best.
Yeah.
The best.
Because I started off as a fan.
All our viewers are the best.
I started off with AfterBuzz as a fan, and I was on my way to the studio, the old studio, to take a tour of it or whatever, and I got a call for my first job here. So I feel like this has been with me throughout my career. So it's a nice full circle moment. And Fern and I have had more panels together. And,
You're my
Blake
first friend in
yeah.
LA.
I
It's
know.
so nice.
Yeah.
This is so. And
I
you're
know.
such a
And
wonderful
OC, the
person.
original, and this is when I first started. It was like I need to get on one Housewives. That'd be my ultimate goal.
The goal.
But enough about me.
Now
Enough.
you're the king of the housewives.
Yeah, enough
For
about
real.
that. Enough. Vicki, she is apparently she's the president of the company and not dealing with any type of phones. As a soon-to-be former executive assistant, this annoys the hell out of me. No one is too good to handle the phones.
I personally love a good headphone. Just makes me feel like a pop star.
Yeah.
And a long mic always does well as well. You know what I mean? Makes me feel like Britney.
You could be like
No
coming
one
around the
better.
cubicle corner, like busting a move.
When I did work in an office at NBC, I was known to be just like that one employee that would get
You
down
mean
to the
you were known
elevator
as
music.
that bitch?
Yes. I'm always known as her. That girl over there.
So apparently, Kodo Insurance has a board. I don't know if this is a board of trustees or like a publicly traded company. I was like, who are these people?
How
It's
big
a
are we,
board they made
Kodo?
up
How
for the
big?
episode.
Yeah, who are these people? Well, Michael, her son, is replacing someone on it. So that's good. I thought we were going to see the new Office. Did we? Was that
don't
it?
think
I
so.
don't know.
It looked brighter, so
It
maybe
looked
that
like
was
a
it.
different, yeah.
It was just like
It
a
needs to be
conference
brightened
room,
up.
right? Like that's all we saw.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kelly's mother, Bobby's getting a makeover. And Kelly's laying on her
woman.
bed in some type of, oh, thanks guys in the chat. I
Yeah,
see you
thank
all. Thank
you.
you.
Yay!
Kelly's there in some type of nude off the shoulder top.
Yeah, she's bringing back the 80s with the off-shoulder, one shoulder peekaboo thing.
Yeah.
What I don't get is like, leave your poor mom alone.
Oh
like,
my
she just
God,
wants to lay in
right?
bed and watch TV, which is like the life.
Right.
Yeah.
And she's worked really hard. Leave her alone.
Leave her alone. I agree. Maybe she's perfectly content just
Yeah.
watching Housewives,
Yeah.
doing nothing. It sounds
I mean,
wonderful.
Yeah.
I get it.
And you make her feel,
I get it.
and it doesn't help. Like you make her feel like she's like not an active member of society.
Right.
Just like like it's not.
She
probably not helping.
contributes. She goes to Starbucks and she talks to lots of people.
Yes. So,
When she says, "Hello, I need a grande non-fat latte," she's done her talking for the day.
we're seeing
That's about as much as I do.
You know?
we're seeing a crack already in her marriage, Kelly's marriage with Michael, and we'll get into more of that later. But she says that she just can't take him at the moment, so that boils over later. Tamra is what as nervous as I was for this graduation dinner that she's going to with her daughter that we never saw, and we know that ended really badly, courtesy of her own Instagram post.
Wrongdoing.
Yeah, you know, we talked
Tamra?
about this throughout the season. It's different now.
I know.
Back in the day, we used to just watch the shows and we wouldn't know anything until the reunion came. But this time it's different. They're posting in real time as these episodes are airing. And Tamra was very, very vocal about Sydney this season. And she has asked to be left alone. And we saw the result of what happened. Clearly, it didn't work out.
I wonder if they're going to talk about it at the reunion. They have to address
They have
it.
to. They have to.
They have to address it. And he's going to ask what went wrong. Everything was supposed to be
Yeah.
fine.
But then Tamra, if she was smart, she'd say, out of respect for my daughter, I will not answer the question.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
She
That's
won't.
exactly the problem.
Because
She won't.
because we know she won't.
She won't.
She's not going
Yeah.
to say that.
She's
Yeah.
supposed to say, you know what? We're finally, you know what? I can't say anything because I want it to continue.
Yeah.
Because I'm respecting my daughter's wishes. She doesn't want me to talk
Exactly.
about her.
Exactly.
Exactly.
What are your thoughts on this candle party? Now, my first thought was, Megan's all excited about this. And I was trying to think back to what Megan contributed this whole season.
That's what I was thinking. She's been such a bore all season.
Yeah.
Why are
What
we
are the
ending this on her
highlights?
candle party?
You can look at someone like
Oh,
Kelly.
candle party.
You can look at someone with lover or hater, but Shannon. You can think of the different highlights, good or bad, throughout the season. But I'm trying to think of what Megan did.
Okay, this is a perfect representation of what she did. A la nothing. She gets up at the beginning of the party and she's like, excuse me. She gets everybody's attention and she goes, I just want to thank you for being here. King is, of course, my maiden name. It's also Aspen's middle name. And thank you.
So her daughter's name is
And so-
Aspen King.
Aspen King
Is
King.
her daughter's name Aspen King?
Oh my God, Mike Bowman, I wanted someone to fall down the stairs at the
it's
candle party. Me
like-
too.
That's the
It's
speech
a whole
you
lot
give?
of nothing, yeah.
It's a whole lot of nothing.
Or maybe
Started the
it's King
candle
times
company last
2.
year?
You know, I think she did. Because didn't we see her, like, grand opening at the actual candle
Yeah.
store
Oh,
with her
yeah,
husband
that
and
went out of
everything?
business. I read that store went out of business.
So what is this a
Actually, it was
candle party
Tamra
for?
that
The
said that.
Company's been
Well,
up
that's
for a
why
long
it's in a
time.
house, Fern. That's why it's in a house. That candle business went down.
The King collection, like, is this like the ultimate, the
It's the
pinnacle,
backyard
or
But I
what is
collection
can
it?
now.
understand, like, if she just started the candle company, they're having a huge party. Like, these are all the candles. You've been around for over 2 seasons.
know.
Like, what's the party for?
There was no one even at that party.
There was no one there.
No,
It's
it was-
everyone that
Because
usually
Fern,
goes.
my daughter's middle name is King.
I
And
miss the
thank you.
ones. I miss the ones that always
That's
ended at
exactly
like
right.
the end of summer party. I miss that, the end of summer party where they would be in someone's backyard and they'd have to make their amends or whatever. Like they remember like the first reunion they sat in lawn chairs in Vicki's backyard. Like now it's like these
Yeah.
fake things. Like we're supposed to believe
Yeah.
that she's gonna be a millionaire selling candles.
And
No.
they make rounds now. Like they even put the lights up really bright outside in the backyard, like the big movie lights, so they can like literally make their rounds of
Yeah,
apologies
right.
and end with a nice cast photo. I mean, bravo. It ended a little too peachy for me. You know what I mean? Even like the shot of Jim, we didn't get one shot of Jim until the very end, and he was nice. You know he said some sarcastic
I know,
stuff.
shocker.
You know he was like, I paid so much for this. Can we get these people out of here? I didn't even get a shrimp today. Shannon
unlike
got a
Shannon.
shrimp. I'm gonna get a quick shrimp.
I loved it. Michael, before they go to this party, Michael doesn't want to be in the car with David Vidor. Or apparently, I think maybe this.
I don't blame him.
Is it?
It's a tense.
I wouldn't want to
deal.
be with either of those
No.
couples.
They're just dealing with a
No.
lot. They're really stressed out. They're bad to be around.
Yeah.
Kelly doesn't even want to go with her own husband. And she says that, she tells him to be polite, kind of like a child. And she says they're two control freaks and she's hit a wall with her husband. So.
Well, then leave him already instead
Yeah.
of dragging him to a party.
Yeah.
Nobody wants that kind of tension.
this.
Nobody wants like that couple out at the party that all of a sudden starts fighting and it's tense. Like everyone hates that couple, so don't be that couple. You know what I mean? If you're having problems, just be like, you know what? Stay home tonight. Clearly, I can't stand you, so maybe you should stay home, and I'll hate you from the party. And you can hate me from home.
I mean,
Because why
I
hate
wonder.
each other in front of people?
Right, and I wonder how much pressure he feels, or like the spouses of any of these women feel, to like make their camera time. You know,
Right.
like they know their wives are on the show when a party's happening. Do they feel that pressure
Probably.
versus just their wife wanting them to go? You know,
Do they sign contracts too? Like where they have to
Apparently not.
appear?
Apparently,
they
apparently
don't?
the husbands do not even get paid.
Yeah, but they do sign to be on camera. You
'Cause they
to
have
sign
to.
a
Release form, yeah.
Yeah.
'cause that's
So
what they're
in
dealing with
that
in
sense,
Atlanta.
you're consenting, but I do feel it's by default because they don't sign up for this.
Yeah.
So it's a pressure by
Yeah.
default.
And it's like, yeah, I don't want to go, but I'm gonna look like an asshole if I
Yeah.
don't.
Right.
So it's like obligation.
I know.
And-
David sat everything out, so
Yeah.
he kind of has to go to this one, I guess.
It's their wife's income. This is the way their wives make money.
Well, of course David has
Some
to
of
go.
them.
Are you crazy? He has to do everything. He has no options
Well, so,
until now.
yes. And how do you feel about the divorce, Blake? We haven't seen you.
Grant, thank you for asking me. I have missed you all for many episodes because a lot has happened with Shannon, and we know I've had a lot of opinions.
She's back, ladies and gentlemen.
And I've been watching from home, just like yelling these opinions, wishing I was on this after show with everybody. I've got to say this one thing at least. When I read the news that Shannon and David were finally getting their divorce, as unfortunate as it is, I read the news like on my phone, and I said out loud to myself alone, "Fucking finally." Finally! Yeah, it was
my
like
goodness.
I've been saying this for how many seasons? It just is time, and you know it's sad. It's definitely sad, 100% sad. But nobody's getting anywhere. They're just hating each other, and we've seen the destruction, and we've seen it physically in Shannon, and like it's time.
Yeah.
So there we have it.
So we get treated to Shannon's greatest hits of all of her first impression failures. And my favorite, of course, if you listen to Grant's rants, you know it's Heather Dubrow saying, "We're done. Please leave."
Oh, that
I'm
was
asking
so
you
good.
to leave.
That was
I
so
loved
good.
it. That is one of my favorite moments. I don't know that, and thank you. That and her going, Shannon storming through that Laguna Beach house. I freaking had it with her. You will all see the truth. Like that's just so over the top and so me, and just I enjoy Shannon. I do because I feel like we're getting a new installment of Shannon coming up.
You were
know,
waiting. You were waiting
are,
for it
it's
to
a-
conclude with the plate, weren't you?
What? Is that,
You were waiting for that montage to conclude
That
with
was
the
in
plate.
every other episode. I swear to God, if it wasn't every other, it would be back to back to make up for it.
It was in
But
every episode except for this one.
where is it?
Yeah. Well, we were specifically talking about Shannon saying that her first impression was never good with the ladies. So the plate toss was not the first impression. We knew Shannon deep at this point.
It's out on a
Yeah.
technicality.
Her scene
Nonetheless,
with
the
Heather wasn't
montage
really
didn't
new
disappoint.
either. Her first impression with Heather
You're
was
right,
never-
you're
but
right.
the other housewife, her husband Terry, that probably was counted for the first because Terry was very involved that season.
My kids are here. I'm asking you to leave.
I love it.
Oh, so good.
And if I'm hoping that they'll bring back the Dubrows to this show because how are you feeling, Fern, at this point in the
I've
season?
missed her so much because I feel like I think Peggy kind of replaced her. So you replaced one person who, like, just miss Heather. I miss seeing her house. I miss the way she speaks. Like, she's always so super clear.
Yeah.
With someone who
Yeah.
talks like mud. Like, you cannot. She's confused. Everyone else is confused. It's so
Not
confusing.
an eloquent lady.
Oh my God.
Clear
at
and
all.
condescending.
I know. Yeah,
well.
I'll take clear and condescending over. I don't know what the hell she's
Yeah.
misunderstood. That one misunderstood. I can't take it. It's not funny. It's
I severely
annoying.
dislike her.
It's just all over the place. Even at the
Yeah.
end when she tried to make everything right, it just didn't go anywhere.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So everyone arrives as Shannon makes her way down the large staircase in a vintage gown of her grandmother's. What did you think, especially this one over here, Blake, of the entrance? The staircase.
I can't say what I really thought.
Well,
I can't.
over here, Mike Bowman says, I wanted someone to fall down the stairs at the candle party.
Gosh.
So,
Someone else did too.
She couldn't even get
you
down
so
the stairs
much.
without, like, excuse my language, bitching.
Everything is a bitch. Everything is an
She's
issue.
just constantly
Uh-huh.
nagging.
We can't live. We can't walk down the stairs. We can't do anything in this life without like addressing it, complaining about it live on national television. It's like it's her MO.
Even when she got out of the car, she's like, I just can't do these tall shoes anymore.
Yeah, we know you can't, Shannon. We know. We know.
know.
The shoes, the stairs. We know.
so Peggy at this party.
So I'm sorry, everyone. I'm sorry.
I feel bad for her when she's like always looking for, you know, she's so insecure that she's like, I'm wearing a grandma dress, and Megan took it as I'm wearing a frumpy dress.
Yeah,
no,
she's like,
literally-
stop it.
I laughed so hard. Thank you for bringing that up.
No, but it's so consistent with her mentality.
Yeah.
She's so down on herself that
So
they're just
I
so
know.
used to her. Like,
I know.
Yeah.
She's like, I'm wearing my grandma's dress. Oh, stop! She's like, no, literally, I am. Oh,
it's beautiful.
In that
nice.
case, it's gorgeous.
so funny.
So Peggy enters and she says that she's trying to be all like tough walking into this end of the season party, and she thinks that all the ladies should be ashamed of themselves because of what happened in overseas.
They don't even like if she never showed up. I don't think anyone would have mentioned it.
Yeah, they don't even
They're
know
not
what they were
thinking about her.
confused.
Exactly. Not at all.
You know, and it's really just so much of the kind of fresh meat mentality. I don't think a lot of it is Peggy specific. I mean, there may be specific things that the individual housewives maybe aren't jiving with Peggy yet at this point about, but I think it really is just every girl has to go through this. I mean, Kelly went through it last year in Ireland. Hard. Really hard. Like, it was real bad the way they treated Kelly last
Oh,
year.
yeah.
And now it's Peggy's turn. It's bad. It's hard to watch.
And it
but
was
it's
Megan,
just,
too.
Oh, and it was totally Megan 2 seasons ago.
And it's so interesting how much she sticks up for Shannon now.
I know.
Peggy's like,
right?
she just loves the drama, and Shannon's like, and Megan's like, I don't think so. And sashayed
I
to
know.
the side. I'm like, girl, why are you Shannon's cheerleader all
I
of a
could
sudden?
not. I could not in that
Shannon
moment.
starts charities.
I
She
know.
doesn't remember that.
My
I could
God.
not. That was too
How
much.
dare you make me seem uncharitable?
Terrible.
She just always overreacts, so it's just classic Shannon.
Yeah.
So Vicki enters and she stays away from Eddie and Tamra the whole time. But I don't think Vicki realizes why. Like, this was never addressed. Like, this was so odd that there's a disconnection. Apparently, it's because
I don't get it.
the day they came back from Iceland, correct me if I'm wrong, but the day they came back from Iceland, Tamra says that there was a story released by one of Vicki's friends that Vicki denied having involvement in. So it was about Eddie, I guess.
I'm so over this.
Another story.
I mean, like,
already?
not the gay rumors. Something
She
different.
She didn't say.
Why
And so
are
they never
Tamra
This
and
was
discussed
Vicki
such a
fighting so
throwaway
much?
moment. This was such a throwaway moment. Like, I know they had a big falling out. We wanted to see what this was, and now they're just not even going to acknowledge it. Yet they were still in group scenes.
You know, and okay, another question I had about Tamra was, I think I asked somebody this while we were watching. Tamra very blatantly says to the camera, like during her confessional, she says, what was it? She's like, you know, I apologized to Vicki. We had our moment like a year ago or whatever it was. Then we had another moment in Iceland. We apologized to each other. It was good or whatever. Now I know that I just really can never trust Vicki. And I was like, well, what happened? What happened between Iceland and here
Right.
that like really proved that the second apology wasn't legit, right?
Nothing concrete.
We weren't given any information on
I
that.
don't know.
She's like, I just know now that it's really, and I'm like, why?
Yeah, that makes no sense because if there was that story, then the producers should have been like, you two need to go to lunch, talk about the story,
Let
and
us
fight
know.
again.
Yeah.
Either
Before
make
we
up
do
and
the
fight again,
reunion.
but
Yeah.
don't like gloss over this because this is like some juicy stuff. This
Right.
is meat. Instead of seeing them get ready, seeing them walk down the stairs, we could have had so much more meat in this episode if they made
thinking
those
the
two go to
same
lunch
thing.
and
Yep.
fight again or make up.
Yeah, I'm thinking
Yep.
the same thing. There was a lot of wasted time in this episode.
And did you guys notice that Peggy went to lunch with them 2 days earlier? They didn't show any of that footage. They showed a smidge of it during this party, proving there's just not enough meat on the bone. I think
Yeah.
Fern's right. They're not giving us enough meat. We're
Yeah.
starving.
Especially after this, what some people could argue is a lousy season, to really not deliver on the finale and to gloss over a major plot point. I mean, you kidding me?
And I really don't understand the Tamra and Vicki thing. Like, how many times does Vicki have to apologize? We talked about this last episode. She officially apologized.
It keeps happening.
You guys, it's not her fault you guys made up all drunk. All of you guys were drunk. It's not like one person was stone cold sober, other than Peggy, and was like, all right, we've made up, but I just want to let you guys know you guys are all still drunk and saying inappropriate things, so I'm only going to take this lightly. No, you guys were all drunk, and you guys all walked away like everything was kosher, and now it's not.
Yeah.
Why not?
I would understand Vicki thinking everything's cool, and then maybe approaching Tamra like, "Hey, we're friends now," and then Tamra giving her the shoulder and her being like, "WTF?" Like for
I
real.
don't know.
I thought we
I
made up
really
in
don't
Iceland.
get
What's
it.
going on?
Right.
We need to know what happened.
Another thing we missed, which is kind of okay though, we missed the Lydia, Peggy, Megan lunch where Peggy apologized to Megan about. I don't know what she apologized for because she said she wasn't calling Megan a bad mom. So what was she apologizing for? Clearly very ignorant, and it's none of her business at all what is going on with Megan's baby because they were training the baby to cry out as they discussed. It's none of her freaking business.
But I wish they had. I wish Megan was like, "It's none of your freaking business," and they spend it at
Yes.
lunch, and then.
And we need to see it.
They didn't
that,
show
yeah.
We
any
need to
of
see it.
It's all
Yeah.
in the casting. It's all in the casting.
I know. It's
'cause-
like I feel like I can't even speak on it properly because we haven't seen it.
Yeah.
I know.
Give it to us, Bravo.
Yes.
Damn.
I don't know. Someone wrote on the live chat, Ginger Rogers wrote, Tamra's so desperate for the Bravo money, she doesn't have a rich husband. And she also wrote, trying to get rid of Vicki, which that kind of I can see. Just because
We have no
Vicki
reason.
has apologized. Why are you
Yeah.
not trying to make up with her?
Yeah.
You guys should have been doing shots at this party as far as I'm concerned. You guys should have been whooping it up.
Yep.
But instead it was awkward and you were trying to fix everybody else's problems.
Yep. Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
accept Tamra's like whatever
Like,
she
why
said.
why are you so desperate to get Peggy and Shannon together? They're clearly one duo that's never gonna see eye to eye.
Yeah.
Shannon is the kind that overreacts, and Peggy is the kind that doesn't like that, and she wants to just say weird things and let everything be okay about it.
This season was
'Cause
a
she's not
total
clearly
mess.
communicating.
This season was a mess from start to finish. So I'm wondering what they're going to do with this reunion. I'm hoping that maybe it's a different producer or somebody else that can maybe Bravo be more involved.
Sort it out.
Like,
yeah.
we need to make sense of some of the stuff and make it a little bit more motivational to keep watching this show.
I'm sorry, we have a comment really quick. Ferg says, I have a feeling that next season is going to be fire. So do we think that because
I
this
hope
season
so.
was like a hot mess, that maybe it'll come a little stronger next season?
They got to clean house. They got to get rid of half the cast. I mean,
Yeah.
Well, we know Shannon's not going anywhere.
yeah, Shannon, Kelly, we know they're good.
She won her
I don't know
ticket
anything
back.
for real, but
She won her ticket
Peggy,
back.
Megan, and even Lydia.
get rid of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
Lydia
what I
was
mean.
totally boring this season. I'm sorry.
Peggy won't understand that she's fired. She'll show up next season to start filming.
So Kelly gives her husband, Michael, the death stare when he complains how he can't play with her boobs.
Oh, God, was that awkward. Ay, ay, ay.
It's clearly over between those two.
Yeah.
I think
Poor
it was
Michael.
over before
I
she
felt
started.
bad
but-
for Michael
I
in
know,
that
he
moment.
can't even touch her boobs. That sucks.
Yeah. So Lydia seems to be having fun with Shannon. I think that's my only Lydia note. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Yeah, Lydia. And as we saw, like in a little upcoming preview of the reunion, like the ladies haven't really appreciated everything that Lydia has said off camera when it comes to, imposing every belief. Because when you do that, you're also like imposing a lot of judgment. You know what I mean? It's one thing to just be like, this is who I am, accept it. You know what I mean? I'm this kind of person. But you're throwing judgment along with everything that everyone does. So clearly, it's all going to come out at the reunion.
I hope.
I hope, because this season all along they've been dodging bullets.
Yeah,
like-
they have. They have. Totally.
So Peggy and Kelly get together, and Kelly asks, why did you leave early? And she says she left early because of you talking about my dad. And Kelly says, well, I didn't really know that your dad passed. Is that what she said? Or did she know and she
She forgot.
It?
She forgot.
She forgot it. Okay.
I get that.
All right, yeah.
I believe that from
I
Kelly.
believe it. She was totally
But
wasted.
she was also saying, like, kind of, it was like a cultural reference. Like, it was just like a reference.
It's just a saying.
Yes,
She wasn't.
exactly.
She wasn't literally saying like I'm literally gonna have my
Exactly.
dad call your dad. It's like a saying like, oh, this one.
I didn't realize she perceived it that way.
Yes, yes. Kelly was
Hey,
saying.
who?
Okay, so
Peggy.
Kelly was telling Peggy,
Oh,
"Oh,
Lord,
you're gonna
I
have
can't.
your husband call my husband." In other words, saying you're gonna have this authority figure in your life call this
yeah,
authority
I
figure
get
in my
that.
life, comparing it to you're gonna have your dad call my dad. Oh, well, you know,
My
making
dad
it-
could beat up your dad. Like, that's
Yeah.
something if you grow up in this country. In the meantime, I'm not like making fun. Like, God bless anyone that speaks more than one language. Like, I always
yeah,
speak
yeah,
English.
yeah.
Like, I'm not making
Right.
fun of her. Like, I can't say 2 words in her. God bless. But
True.
even if she spoke perfect English, I think we would still have this problem.
Yeah.
I think she just doesn't get it.
Yeah.
It just doesn't register. She was making
because
it
just a
was-
saying.
Yeah,
Yeah, just a saying.
But then
she-
Kelly could have said, it's just a saying, and instead said, I'm sorry, I forgot that like, you're both wrong.
Yeah, it's true. It's
Yeah,
true. Yep.
it's pretty frustrating.
Yeah.
But she's been here since she's 1 year old.
Yeah.
Peggy's been here since she was 1.
Right. But
So-
maybe she just never, I don't know.
I don't think she gets it. I really
Yeah.
don't. I think
No,
you're
well,
right.
this isn't the first time. I mean, Deco has said a lot of like euphemisms or sayings or whatever.
And she doesn't ever
and
get them.
She doesn't know them. So
Doesn't get them. He does.
And they live together, and
obviously.
she still doesn't get them. It's not like, doesn't she turn on the television?
But then she throws one out.
If she watches like an episode of like Desperate Housewives, is she lost? Because there's a
Right,
lot of
isn't
like.
she so confused going through life?
I know.
I don't get it.
I'm just thinking, like, there's figures of speech in television. There's comedy. There's wordplay, assimiles. Like,
I know, especially English. Like English
Yeah.
is very
so many
complex.
idioms. Yeah.
yeah.
She just
Anyway.
doesn't know how to clearly communicate anything. Even at the end when she was trying to apologize, it didn't come out right. Even Tamra was like, she's trying to say she's sorry.
She needs an
I'm
interpreter.
like, oh, she does. She needs an interpreter. It's so crazy.
She needs Heather Dubrow. Heather Dubrow would come in and be like, "This is what."
Clear it up.
Her perfect
Clear it up.
elocution.
Yes.
This is.
Here's what you
you're
need to
saying
understand.
will cause
Yes.
DEFCON 4.
Yes. So Kelly tells Peggy that she's baby, which is true. I think so anyway.
She seems like a princess. Own up to it, girl.
And Kelly doesn't like to be controlled, so she decides that she will give Peggy another chance. Why bother? She's not coming back to this show. I don't know anything, but I can only hope. You know what I mean? Why bother? Just say, you know what?
Who, Peggy?
You lost on me. Yeah, well, Kelly's going to give her a second chance.
Yeah, she's not coming back.
Don't bother. I don't think Bravo's going to give her a second chance.
I
don't know. I'm just kidding. So David and Deco have an uncomfortable scene, and David's like ready to get out of there, like Speedy Gonzalez. Like,
He's just so done.
so David asks why Deco went after his wife, and Deco about the conversation they had that stupid hookah night.
Deco was scared.
Yes, Deco's scared. Yes, he says, "Oh no, it wasn't an issue. You know, it really wasn't that bad. Like it was okay. Like it's okay."
Exactly. He's totally
Was
skating
it?
back.
Yeah, no, well, it wasn't the night of your own anniversary party that you took time out to shoot the shit with. You know what I mean? I can't. So Tamra apologizes to Deco for calling him a little bitch.
And David's like, I'm out of here before
Something
that
we're all
happens.
guilty of. Yeah, David's like ghost.
Peace.
Yes. So she does apologize, and then she says she felt she pulled.
I have a note about that moment
Yes.
that I just want to share really quick.
Yes.
Not only does she apologize for calling Deco a little bitch, but she literally says like, "Oh, so it's confirmed that you're not a little bitch?" And then he's like, "Yes, I'm not a little bitch." And then she's like, "Okay, because otherwise that means Shannon's overreacting." It's like, no shit.
Yeah. And then she continued to insult
Yeah,
him.
she did. So like between the options of Deco being a little bitch or Shannon overreacting, I think it's really overwhelming in the side of Shannon overreacting.
I asked the question. I put it in my notes. Did Shannon overreact in that moment? I was ready.
Big YES on that. 100% of the time, always.
Cue the montage. Bravo.
Yes. So what else? Tamra and Peggy, and then this is it's like the tour of Peggy. Like I just can't. Like I'm not that interested. In fact,
know.
there wasn't any moment in this finale that I was waiting on. Last season, that finale. Remember when Tamra followed Brianna outside to meet up with Vicki on the front steps? Like that, I knew was going to be something that was going to lead to something. There was nothing in this finale that I was waiting on.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, and sadly, looking back, even that moment was disappointing. And the ladies they used to bring it. They used
Yeah.
to bring it.
It's
I mean,
time to
Tamra
wrap
would
it
get
up.
up out of the chair and make sure that you left. I mean, even when she ran that 5,000 miles an hour, remember when she ran out? She was like, I'm out of here. Like when she ran that, it was so funny. Like they just don't bring it anymore.
Yeah.
It's sad.
Peggy gets involved, and she asks why Shannon said that Deco hurt her. Shannon is then roped in, and she says that she should have never been included in the conversation at that night about David, what David said or whatever. and she is still offended that Peggy asked her if she trusts her husband. So that she'll never let that go.
Yeah. Well, it was a loaded question.
Yeah. Which I mean, she's righteous. I mean, that's the softest spot in Shannon's life. I mean, I don't know about now since things are moving forward in a different direction, but with regards to the trust of her husband, that was probably the worst thing you could say to her. So
I'm telling you, it's performance art when it comes to Peggy. It's performance art. Like, she just doesn't know how to clearly communicate, but then once in a while she'll be like, so do you trust your husband?
Yeah.
It's like, whoa, where'd that come
I
from? A
know.
minute ago, you didn't know, like, even, like, the bear shit in the woods. Like, oh, well, he has to shit. He has to shit in the woods if he lives in the woods. Like, really? You don't know what we're talking about? Well, I'll just have your dad call my dad. Or whatever. Like,
I know.
You can throw him out sometimes.
Yeah.
It's weird.
yeah.
Oh my god.
To me, she reminds me of like Kim Fields and a couple of these other housewives who like are very proud of themselves and they have those moments. And it's like that stuff just needs to come natural if you're on these shows.
Yeah.
You know what I
Exactly.
mean?
Yeah.
Can we get that
Yeah.
by
Same.
like 1,000%?
Yeah.
Yes. I totally agree. So Shannon maintains that Peggy said David hurt her at that anniversary party, or not. It wasn't at that party. It was the other one. The other one. When did he hurt her?
The
Top
anniversary party, wasn't it?
I thought it was.
He approached her at the anniversary party.
Wait, no.
But
Wasn't it when
David-
Deco?
It was the same. It was the same night Shannon went to Peggy.
No.
But wasn't it Deco and David were talking on the boat during the
Yes.
Balls Voyage party?
Yeah, it was
Yes.
about that.
And
Right.
yes, and then so now Shannon was just referencing it in terms of her communication with Peggy. Peggy said that David
Okay.
hurt her via Deco on the Balls Voyage
so
party.
Thank you
stupid
so
anymore.
much
You're
for that. Yes.
so welcome.
That is so well said. So yeah, and then so Shannon says that she saw what's her face Peggy physically crying and welled up and all upset, and we cut to the flashback, which she was not. She just had the same typical resting bitch face that she always has.
They were trying to make something out of nothing once again. Like,
yeah.
have some real drama, really duke it out, and be like, you know what? I don't get it. And Shannon always tries to go there. I will give her credit for that. At least Shannon will go there. She'll light the firecracker.
Yeah.
But these other girls are like pouring water on it. Like, if I was Peggy, I would have been like, there you go, acting crazy again, Shannon.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm gonna let you have it now too. You want another line? I'll give you a different line then. But instead, they're like, you okay?
Yeah, no,
I
Shannon.
know.
Like, why are you guys like,
Are
you're
you okay?
housewives?
Shannon did consistently bring the fire tonight.
Take a page out of Nene.
there was no fire,
right, I
but
know, I
Shannon was
agree
trying to
with that.
like pepper something in,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. That, I guess that was supposed to be really shady when she asked if she was okay. I mean,
It was shady, but like Shannon
I
said,
didn't
you've already
perceive it
used that
way.
line before.
Yeah, exactly. So Shannon then says she's done. She's done again, and
She's always done.
then she yells in front of everyone all 6 people at the scandal party that Peggy is an effing lunatic.
Shannon is the meanest person.
Yeah, well, she's just crazy.
She's straight up
For
mean.
me, Shannon is taking out my frustrations on Peggy, so I'm okay with it.
I
I
think she's
wouldn't
mean.
yell at her, but I like that
She
did.
constantly, if you ask Shannon what she thinks of herself, she has the highest opinion of herself. She's the most fair. She's the fairest in the land. She's the loveliest on this earth, like whatever highest you can give yourself. And then constantly they show us flashbacks of her behavior, and she is mean.
Shannon?
Yes!
Yeah, the montage of her fighting everybody. Incredible.
So
Even
mean.
Ferg just said it was effing hilarious, and it was.
Yeah.
It was amazing. And Vicki totally did get by. Someone wrote in the live
Yeah.
chat that she didn't get crucified. You guys are totally right. She just skated on by and was like, so everybody's good?
Yeah, but I think that
Giving marriage advice.
But Shannon's
Divorce
not.
type.
Shannon's not being an ass just to be an ass, though. I think she believes that she's defending herself, and
Yeah,
I
she
think
is.
she's just unhappy. Like, I think she's probably been in an unhappy marriage for a long time. And I think unhappy people lash out. And I
Yes.
think that I would love to see, like, the comeback of Shannon next season. Like,
Yeah.
her lose weight, meet a great guy, get rid of David. Like,
I would
he's
love.
and then, like, your life is in a good place when you don't have any fodder for reality TV. Like, hopefully she goes off into the sunset in a happy life.
Yes.
Yeah, I
Because we
agree.
all know my favorite version of
totally agree.
Shannon is Vacation Shannon.
Yes.
So give me some of that.
Yeah.
Bring me back.
Were you happy with the conducting she was doing in Iceland?
You know, it did bring me back up a notch. Like, okay, we're getting back where we need to be.
For a split second.
It wasn't enough, you know? It
Not
wasn't
enough for you. I could tell.
But
I know.
I love me some Vacation Shannon.
I think without David, and like a good regimen, she'll be like staycation Shannon and just like always happy.
Oh, I love
Fabulous.
that.
I hope that for you,
I
Shannon.
dream
really
of that.
do.
I hope
See?
of that for me.
Well, there's people out there. They love Shannon. There's people out there that are always going to root for Shannon.
People
and
do
we
love
know,
Shannon.
We see them all the time.
Yeah.
They're very vocal about it. So I think you guys are going to get your wish. She will come back with
Yes.
a nice redemption story.
Yes, I want
I hope so.
uplifted staycation Shannon.
You know,
That's what I want.
Peggy says in her interview, she says, well, you know, if the way she keeps yelling at everyone, that's why your husband's going to leave you. And I'm like, really? Like, I really wouldn't comment on anyone else's marriage, bitch. But
Yeah, that's nasty.
yeah. But again, she's doing this in an interview. Why don't you pull that out at the finale?
She said to Kelly, "You're jealous of my I wrote it down. She said something like, "You're jealous of."
Who said this?
Didn't
She did.
she? Did.
Shannon.
You're
Good
and I was
catch.
Oh my
like,
God, yeah.
She did
no,
say
no,
that.
no. Peggy said to Kelly,
Peggy,
"You're
Peggy,
jealous
okay.
of her and Deco," which I don't think anyone is jealous of her and Deco.
No, they have a weird
They
staged
have
relationship.
exactly. It doesn't feel real.
I
No,
kind of
it's
think
just
they're
too
sweet.
I think he's like a stage mom.
Well, I think
Oh,
he,
yeah.
I think he
clearly
helps
wants
her
to be
with
a star.
everything.
Clearly wants to be
Yeah.
a star.
Peggy had a weird smile at Tamra. Like, I don't know what that was, but that was some deranged thing that she was doing. And Shannon and Kelly bonded over their lack of romance in their
It all
life,
got
I guess.
weird towards the end.
Yeah, yeah. And then-
Especially with like them trying to hide the fact that they weren't upset. So he's like, "Will you just smile about it?" It was strange.
Shannon, Shannon just, this is apology from Peggy, and she's like, thank you, I appreciate that. Like, not accepting it, typical. And Kelly talks to Vicki about Michael in front of him, and they have no sex, and Vicki relates it all to Dawn, so we know that's going nowhere but south. And just to run through the updates, Kelly sold her house, and she files for divorce, and she's doing it on her own. Megan's trying for a baby, boring. Lydia's trying for a baby, boring. Shannon, the Medoras moved to separate houses. Vicki bought a vacation house with her boyfriend, and Brianna's moving to North Carolina.
Vicky's trying to lock Steve down.
Fine.
She is.
She's like, if not through marriage, through real estate.
Yes.
Sign these
Legally
papers.
binding real estate.
Okay.
Peggy's update, I put a blank. I don't remember anything except I'm going to fill in the blank and
Her
write.
kids went to
Oh
college.
yeah,
and
Peggy.
Yeah, who cares?
I'm gonna say
I want Meg-
I'm gonna say Peggy wrapped her only season on Housewives.
Yes.
Brand.
I want Kelly to have a redemption story. I want Kelly to have a redemption
Yeah,
story.
That's awful. I love it.
They all
And,
deserve
yeah.
one.
So
Kelly and Shannon.
Yeah,
let's
yeah,
hope
yeah.
for Kelly and Shannon redemption
it out.
stories.
Yes.
Next season.
and then
All
Tamra,
right, fine.
Tamra, she's gonna need some redemption with that daughter of hers because that was her update.
Oh, Tamra.
sad.
She's dying to be
Yeah,
the OG.
after we had to hear about all, this is a good comment, really quick. Like, all this stuff I'm hearing about Lydia's trying for a baby. What about all the ball cutting talk? Like,
yeah,
we had to sit
all
through that.
7 episodes of the ball cutting.
That pissed me off. What
Cutting the
else is new?
balls. Cutting the balls.
Poor Megan got gypped. They didn't give her nothing this season. Apparently, she was trying to give us something with the IVF story, but it did not make it through the season.
We're over that. We've been through it
time,
once.
yeah.
Yeah, it's true.
Done.
Bye, girl.
Done.
Thank you for sharing this lovely recap with all of us. I love the fresh perspectives. And all good things. I will be back next week for the recap, the reunion, the first part of the reunion. And in the meantime, please check out my podcast, Grant's Rants Hollywood Talk. We're talking a little bit about Housewives fatigue, the Atlanta premiere, and more. So check that out over on Grant's Rants Hollywood Talk podcast.
Yes, and I am Blake V. I'm so happy to have shared this finale with you guys. I love being here. You can find me, of course, on all social media at Blake V Media and over at the blog on BlakeV.com.
This is Fern Ronay. So happy to be here too. This is so much fun. You can find me on all social media: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat at Fern Ronay, RONAY, and my website, fernronay.com.
Perfect. Lian Castillo here. You can find me on all social media platforms at Hollywood Lian. And check out, I'm also on the Atlanta panel for the Real Housewives here at AfterBuzz TV. Sunday nights we tape at 9 o'clock, so make sure to check that out. And right afterwards, Curb Your Enthusiasm, HBO. It's just right after the other. So next Sunday,
yeah.
check it out. If you blink, you will miss me. But keep your eyes open. Thanks, guys.
Thanks for all the love and the chat and the interaction.
Yes, we love you all so much.
We'll bring it for the reunion.
Yes, I'll be back. Well, we'll be back next week to talk Real Housewives of Orange County Reunion Part 1.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.